everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Michigan's Natural Living, a spot of tea is served. Hello, my name is Dr. Thomas. I am the CEO and founder of Michigan's Natural Living, and I'm here today to welcome you back, my distinguished, beloved Michigan's Natural Living family of tea drinkers. Thank you and welcome back. So today we're going to discuss, we're going to entertain three questions that has been sent in from our beloved supporters. Okay, we're going to go real fast through it and make it brief, and then hopefully you enjoyed our other videos and you'll hopefully enjoy this one as well. Okay, well, let's dive right in, huh? So I have three different questions that were sent in regarding some concerns about how to use the product. What is the best way, the healthiest way, and so forth, and the way to get the most benefit without causing self-harm due to the lack of understanding, and how to properly use our precious products. Okay, so let's dive right in. I love answering questions, and maybe it's these questions can help. These answers can help provide some relief to your own questions as well in this regard. Okay. All right, let's jump right on in. Okay. But I tell you, oh, that never gets old, boy. That hot elixir there. What I have here today is it's my rhubarb infusion, my beloved rhubarb infusion, with a little extra something. Okay, I got the 16 herb variety, spotted and boosted with rhubarb and a few other herbs that has given us quite an activating punch, I should say, to say the least, man. But it does what it's supposed to do. Oh yeah, that's the truth. As many of our supporters would also agree. Okay, so let's jump on in. So the first looks like the question's from Miss Angela Chamberlain out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. And she's asking, why can't we use tap water when preparing our elixir? There's been many studies nationwide over the course of 50 years or so that's shown that typical municipal water, tap water if you will, free water pretty much, is pretty much contaminated with all kinds of stuff. Heavy metals, impurities, bacteria and so forth. Water quality, tap water quality will vary from city to city, town to town, state to state. We understand that here at Michigan's Natural Living. But what we want you to understand is that overall, tap water is essentially understood by those who are in the healthcare professions, particularly so understood that it's not pretty much the healthiest choice of water, particularly much less the typical choice. And the ideal choice of water you would like to put these beautiful products in, okay? You want the best vehicle to carry this tea deepest into the tissues and all its beneficial benefits and all of its beneficial attributes and mineral and vitamins and so forth that it entails as well, okay? So to keep that in mind, there's been many, regarding these studies, there's been many studies that's shown that, particularly out of California and others, that's shown how there's many pharmaceuticals and so forth in the tap water. We're talking oxycodone in the tap water. People are, Xanax and so forth and all kinds of thyroid medications or whatever. You may say, well, how did that get in the tap water? Well, pretty much we notice that a lot of us, we shouldn't do that, but if this applies to you, you want to stop it and dispose of your medication the proper way, and your local pharmacy will instruct you on how to do that, okay? They'll dump them in the toilet and things like that. The medication, they don't need any more narcotics, they'll just throw them away. The parents, if someone pass away or whatever, they'll just dump it in the toilet. And it gets into the drinking water pretty much. That's the long and short of it for the most part, and so forth. So we don't want to drink tap water. You should be using spring water. Not necessarily, that's the best water. It's the most natural water, and it'll have all your minerals and vitamins and so forth. And we'll discuss, there's another question from another customer that's asking other questions regarding the water quality. We're going to go into the water choices and so forth. We'll go into it shortly, okay? All right, it brings us to our next question from Mark Sanders out of Gary, Indiana. He's asking, why shouldn't we use distilled water and so forth, and tap water, and distilled water and purified water? And again, the purified water and distilled water aren't healthy over the long term. What am I talking about here? Ooh-wee. So basically, the distilled water, particularly, is the worst of the two. Purified shares some characteristics with the distilled water in this regard, meaning that there's everything's pretty much been removed and vaporized out of the distilled water. So distilled water has nothing in it, so it's highly reactive. In other words, if you leave it out, you pour it out into your cup and so forth, preparing your tea and so forth like this, it'll pull CO2 from the environment, which is acidic, and it'll make the water, the distilled water, very acidic. The body functions on a basic alkaline paradigm, and so since the water has been altered through the manufacturing process, and the distilling process, so will your body be affected in an unnatural way, just as the water. I mean, everything has to match, and so the water, this distilled water, has been the essence of it has been removed. So in different aspects, nutrients and vitamins. So when you put this in your body, it'll do the same to you. So you'll have to eat a lot of other foods and so forth and things like that to replace what's being stripped from the distilled water. Okay, that's the long and short of it. But he goes on to ask, like, I hear it's unhealthy, it's this, it's that, yeah. And he mentions pH, right? So naturally, the substances that's naturally found in water adds to the pH. As you strip these things out, the pH plummets, indicating acidity, which creates disease. The acidity sets the environment up for disease to proliferate. Okay, so you want the water to be soft as possible, meaning it contains minerals and vitamins. We're talking spring water, ideally. Again, okay. Just keep that in mind. Use that. Otherwise, as you drink more and more spring water, distilled water, you're going to strip your minerals out of your body, and also particularly as it means so the water can balance itself. Distilled water can balance itself. This is why it pulls the acids out of the atmosphere. Distilled water, carbon dioxide, making the water more like a carbonic acid kind of a deal. You don't want that, okay? And so you don't want it leaching minerals and nutrients and micronutrients out of your bones and things like that. Okay, so stay away from distilled water, but you will find it everywhere for cheap. This is why, because it's no good for you. Okay. And this is just our personal opinion here at Michigan's Natural Living, as a means to allow you to reap the highest benefit from our beloved teas here. And this is our other tea as well. This is our 16 herb varieties flying off the shelves. Flying. Take advantage of this. Get this one. This one's really good. This is our other variety. This is our 12 herb variety, okay? You won't lose with either one. This one, our 16 herb variety elixir for the soul, is our most popular, okay? Moving right along. So particularly now, if you're fasting, that makes it worse, right? Because you're not eating food at all. So if you're drinking distilled water over a fast, you're going to basically just leach out your bones, your minerals, your micronutrients. It's going to be leached off your inner material, your bones and tissues and things like that. So over the long run, you may witness abnormalities, heart rhythm abnormalities to be more specific. And also, you'll just notice a depreciation of overall mineral depletion over the course of time if you're drinking exclusively distilled water, particularly if you're fasting or intermittent fasting, okay? This is what the studies have shown in that regard, okay? So stay away from that. Also, moving on, you'll notice changes in perhaps blood pressure readings and so forth over time. Even if you add vitamins and so forth with drinking distilled water and things like that, it won't really help over the long run and things like that. And so particularly pH is the issue. Purified water also has things removed from it as well, mainly bacteria and viruses and whatever else. That's what they claim in the marketing ads, right? But then still, it's an altered water rather. So stay away from anything that's really been altered water-wise, in my opinion, okay? Because it's going to alter your pH as well. And this stuff just produces sickness pretty much, so stay away from it. And it works contrary to our elixir here. This is a very powerful liquid alchemy blend here. And so you want this to sit in the proper vehicle. What is it? Just go buy a spring water. It sits right next to the purified water. Distilled water is on the shelves, okay? Take that little effort. It may pay off in the long run. Trust and believe, okay? Moving right along. Zipporah Thomas out of Toledo, Ohio asks, can she microwave her water in terms of preparing a hot cup of steamy elixir? Our answer is preferably no. I haven't used a microwave personally in over 20 years. And there's a lot of reasons why, but just to keep it straight up forward here with you today and brief, basically, when you microwave anything, food, water, whatever, you're going to change and alter the molecular shape on a microscopic level. Okay, radiation, it acts like a microscopic bullets. Okay, these things, this is why you don't want to be near radioactive anything, because it can destroy your DNA if you're close to it. So it destroys, basically busts up and hence rearrange whatever is in its field of path, its path of trajectory and so forth. Okay, so if your water is sitting in a microwave and it's being bombarded in the path, so to speak, of these microwaves, which is quote radiation, on the type of radiation, then your water, the hydrogen bond, there will be long-term molecular changes in terms of the hydrogen component, the hydrogen network bonding that goes on with the water in the pot, in a cup of water or a pot of water in a microwave. Microwave, okay, you will lower the quality of your water or food. You destroy a lot of the food mineral content and so forth. This is by design. The designers of the microwave know this, okay, but they won't tell you this. So you're very fortunate to be a member, a subscriber of this particular station, because we're going to give you information you just simply won't hear anywhere, okay? And moreover, on the microwave, it's just, I mean, even if you warm up your food in it, oftentimes you have to put it back in or whatever, because you're getting uneven hot spots and cold spots and whatever. Just to show that this is destroying the food. Even it doesn't taste as well. Microwave food doesn't taste all that well. And it's not healthy for you either, okay? And above all, it's not the Michigan's natural living way, okay? So I hope these questions have shed some light and provided some answers to whether maybe have been some questions in this regard. And also, since we're discussing this, also in terms of direction of use for those who may have had these questions as well, just want to reiterate this. You use each bag 3 times, guys, and after the 3rd time, I will probably add a new bag with it, and then use that another 3 times, maybe then discard it, or you can keep it twice, and just depending on how far you want to take these bags and really get the full money's worth. I would recommend you use each bag as much as possible, and maybe use 3, get you a thermos perhaps. I personally carry a thermos. You may have seen it in several of our videos previously. This is a 40-ounce thermos, and I keep at least 3 bags in here for about a couple days, okay? And so I get a nice release, and so and I'll let them soak for 10 minutes at least before I take my first cup out, okay? And you get a nice release. Again, a lot of our customers are loving the extended life span of our tea bags. If you want to increase the release of the older tea bags, let's say if you used it 2 times, 3 times, shake the thermos or shake your cup, whatever, stir it with a spoon and so forth, and the volatility will cause a further release of it, okay? Or if you put your new tea bag in this cup, right, and you want to release, give it like a punch, you can get 2 or 3 cycles worth of use in those 3 uses I mentioned. You can probably burn 2 of them out by shaking up or stirring up a new bag violently, pretty good. That'll give it probably a 2 release deal, 2 bag use deal in one sitting, okay? So the pleasure's been mine. I'm glad you were able to join us today. And thank you for coming back. Thank you for being you. Thank you for supporting us here. We're having so much success, I can hardly keep up here. And so we're looking at probably expanding our staff. I did mention that we may have other experts on this, entertaining the staff here, entertaining you as well, and entertaining our desires to extend our professional line of contributors and so forth, okay? So that is in the works as well. Again, our website is just about done. I've been so swamped with work lately. So I fell a little behind on getting that site out there sooner than later. But trust and believe, it's almost there, okay? And you'll be the first to know. And I appreciate your support. And definitely jump on that website and let's roll to the top of the mountain, right? In the name of health and happiness. And this here, is a toast to your health and happiness, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, with that said, this has indeed been a pleasure. This brings us to another ending, to another wonderful episode of Michigan's Natural Living. A spot of tea is served. Now I want you to take care of yourself, love others, and remember, keep things simple and keep things stress-free as much as possible. And always remember, don't ever forget, there's never no wrong time for a spot of tea. Until next time, friends, take care of yourself. I love you and I miss you.